There's so many things to talk about, I don't even know where to begin. Let's go back to chapter 84, where we finally got to learn why this entire manga has been called after Pochita, why this manga has been called Chainsaw Man. Not only does he have the craziest design, but we learn that Pochita has the craziest ability of being able to erase devil's concepts, names and things of that nature. You're eaten by Pochita, poof, you're gone. No more. Well, in that same chapter, I'm saying that same chapter, I know that you're watching this video and you know exactly what happened in chapter 84, but I'm gonna pretend like you don't know because I love yapping about Chainsaw Man. Okay, we're on the same page? Alright. Some of the devils that were mentioned in chapter 84 that got erased by Chainsaw Man that only Makima remembers, as well as Yoro and other horsewoman, I guess, is the World War II devil, the AIDS devil, the Nazi devil, and the most important devil out of them all, the nuclear weapons devil, as well as other devils, but you know, they're not essential to this topic. Well, this chapter did the unthinkable. At first I thought Denji puked out the nuclear weapons devil, but no. America came for the clutch, gave Yoro the most powerful power-up in all of anime by reinventing nuclear bombs. Like, I am speechless. How did we get to this in Chainsaw Man? How did we get here? So yeah, the United States just casually reinvented the concept of nuclear bombs, which finally also gives us an answer to another question that we've had since part 2. In chapter 87, Makima talks about the human weapon hybrids, whatever they were called, the hybrids, the weapon hybrids. Despite the fact that Pochita has eaten them, they return, they come back. And the reason is pretty simple. Human reinvent those same weapons, and that's how they get revived. I don't know how I didn't manage to think of it on my own, despite the fact that I've rechecked volume 10 dozens of times by now. I've reread those chapters so many times. I couldn't have thought of this simple explanation, but yeah, kudos to Tatsuki Fujimoto, man. Like, anyways, let's finally get to the chapter. Well, as mentioned before, we got to the cliffhanger of chapter 208, where Asayoro got stabbed in the head by one of her weapons, one of her own weapons, thanks to Falling's powers. Well, this chapter continues where the last one left off, with a close-up shot of Asayoro's head, you know, getting pierced to its entirety by one of their weapons, as well as Denji getting attacked by some of these weapons, as well as the old fella getting attacked. And I guess rest in peace to old fella, cause why would a nameless character that hasn't done anything wrong, you know, why would he survive, man? He didn't deserve to die, but let's kill him off. Anyways, Denji is not really able to do anything right now. At first I thought that, you know, Denji was the one to return the nuclear weapons to the real world, but no, Denji just got stabbed different parts of his body, and that's really about it. Well, Yoro Asa gets indeed pierced in the head. Anyways, at first Falling talks about, you know, that she shouldn't have done so much damage, she should have been more careful or something like that. And then we get some shots of Falling looking at Yoro, Yoro Asa shaking a little, then disappearing, then going for a counterattack from behind, speed blitzing Falling Devil from behind with the same weapon that pierced Asayoro. And now to the answer to everybody's biggest worry: is Asa alive? The answer is yes. I'm 98% certain that Asa is fine, because from the nuclear devil, Yoro has gotten such an upgrade that now she is able to regenerate herself. And with that, I think Asa is also able to still exist. At first, when I was reading the chapter, I thought, oh, Asa was the one to lose the personality and is no longer alive. No, that's the case. Anyways, I actually like the back and forth between Yoro and Falling. You know, Yoro finally being able to stand her own. Anyways, let's get to the fight. Falling pushes Yoro out to a building. Then Yoro returns with another weapon that she probably created around chapter 135. Also, all of these weapons that we see were created in the 1 month period where she was the Chainsaw Man Church. So yeah. Anyways, Yoro does a counterattack, cuts Falling into pieces with one of her katana looking swords. Ninja's Fortnite sponge looking swordman. Falling Devil tries to attack with one of her antennas, so thing, the tentacle, whatever this is called, I don't know, the thing. Well, Yoro gets a hold of it. Finally, Yoro doing something cool. Then afterwards, Yoro does one last punch with her right gun gauntlet, finishing off the Falling Devil. Well, I'm not really certain if the Falling Falling Devil has been defeated or not, since the Falling Devil is a primal fear and she cannot die. But man, I'll be honest, I want to see Falling Devil get defeated. I don't know, for now I'm satisfied that Yoro finally got to do something, finally got to look cool in this manga, because this hasn't been the case throughout the entirety of Part 2, man. Well, speaking of Gun Gauntlet, let's go back once again, chapter 84, things that got erased, as I mentioned, World War II Devil, as well as nuclear weapons, which, makes the alternative history of Chainsaw Man a little bit interesting. So, in Chainsaw Man's universe, Japan did not get hit by the US. And in this alternative history, not only World War II didn't exist, but the conflict between the USSR and the United States looked a little bit different, I guess. I don't know. We got to a very interesting alternative event where the United States got to strike the USSR, got to strike the Soviet Union. And the reason why I think this started was potentially because of Yoro's gun goddess, Gun Gauntlet. Potentially the United States got angry. What is the case? Why did so many people, got their hands cut off, got their fingers cut off? Oh, wait a minute. The Gun Devil remained in the Soviet Union, was hidden in the Soviet Union, and the Tank Devil was, teleported out of its location. That was probably the moment when the conflict began. When they suspected that, each other side got a hold of their biggest powers and things of that nature. But so yeah, Yoro is responsible for war. Who could have thought that? I think maybe that would have been the trigger for an immediate war between the United States and the Soviet Union. I don't know, it hasn't been confirmed, but it sounds a little bit logical, man. And the first thing that the United States do is that they drop a nuclear bomb, which I find hilarious more than anything. It's so weird to read this alternative history. It feels controversial, man. Who could have thought that Tatsuki Fujimoto once again, around summertime, is doing some cooked up shit like he did with chapter 167 and what was beyond that. And yeah, that's gonna do it with the video. Pretty interesting chapter, ain't it? But anyways, this is gonna do it with this video. I should have never doubted Tatsuki Fujimoto, even though when I do, good things happen. Yoro is now more powerful than ever. Nuclear Weapons Devil is back into the series, which didn't really see in real time, but it's going to be really hyped up when we finally get to see the design. I don't know why I'm doing this, but shout out to my live stream reactions. I find it entertaining watching it live. Maybe it's pretty awkward to watch my reactions to the chapters, but yeah, but you can check out my live stream reactions, in particular my reaction to this chapter. And also, let's try and get 20 subscribers. I am pretty close to that. Please help me get to that milestone. I wanna get back to the numbers that I had back on the other channel, but with better videos. And yeah, long live Chainsaw Man. Bye bye, plebs. Was in here.